business major here at Chapman with an emphasis in marketing management, and my passion is people and international business.
My name's Jessie Dart. I'm a business administration major here with emphases in finance and management along with an economics major. My passion is using my finance skills in a technology company.
And a fun fact, we're actually both from Switzerland, which is something that we found out when we started working together.
Yeah, so in the next few videos, join us to learn about the 3 main lessons that we learned through our journey in Silicon Valley. One of the themes throughout all our visits in Silicon Valley was that they wanted to see people who had a passion and vision and general drive to change the world. They would talk about how people would have apps and ideas and products that would make money and probably do well, but they're really looking for ideas that are going to change the way that we live our lives.
It's also important to remember that someone can actually fake passion. It's really hard to see, as an entrepreneur, really telling the truth. Anyone can say, I'm really passionate about a certain cause, but they don't really mean it. So what Bill Reichert taught us is that it's important to look for someone who wants to create value for their customer, someone that really knows the customer's problems and is trying to solve a problem. And I think if you put the customer first, then that's how you ultimately have a successful business and a sustainable one. So that was a really interesting lesson that they taught us.
And another really cool idea that was brought up by 2 different people, Leo Spiegel from Pivotal and then also Tim Draper, was that the cure to cancer isn't a science problem, it's a data problem. So this is kind of just another example of how technology can really change the world and make such a big impact that people might not think about, and that people need that passion and that vision, such as curing cancer, to make these technological breakthroughs.
So this lesson really hit home for me because I think we're often taught in society that there's only one path that you can follow to be successful in business. So what was really unique with this trip was that we got to sit down with these people who told us that's not necessarily the case. You don't have to go to an Ivy League to be successful in venture capitalism. You don't have to work a corporate job or necessarily a startup to be a success. So that was really, really unique and cool.
Yeah, so the biggest takeaway for me was really hearing each person's different story because they were all so vastly different. A lot of them did start in startups, and that's how they learned how to do venture capital or learn to be in the startups that they're in today. But one of the stories that kind of hit home a little more for me was Jason Hurst from Pivotal. And he was an econ major, and he started at Arthur Andersen, worked at places like Deloitte and Citibank, and kind of had those beginnings to learn what he was more passionate about, and then found his place at Pivotal doing tech in a startup. Whereas other speakers, such as Mark Fernandez, was saying that he looked at his career in 2-year spurts, and that was really helpful for him. But one of his schoolmates, Satya Nadella, who's now the CEO of Microsoft, graduated college and went straight to Microsoft and made his way to success through staying in the same place. So that was kind of how we learned that there isn't really one definition to how your life can be successful.
Yeah, that's interesting. As well as Kurt also believed that you need to stay in one area and in one job in order to network, because the moment that you leave, you kind of lose momentum in making those connections. So that's interesting too, but I personally would agree that I think moving around a lot, for me personally, would be easier and more successful.
Yeah, and a few of the speakers did say kind of jump from one place to another, just so you can find your passion in each of those places.
So it's often said that our generation is not going to be prepared for a real world job when we graduate. That's really scary, and I completely think that's true. So when we went to these meetings, almost every single person said the most important skills for a college graduate is to be good at networking and to be good at sales. We're not taught this in college, and that's quite shocking if you're hearing, from the best of the best, that that's what it takes to be successful. So I think that's where college has almost failed us, and that was a huge takeaway, I think, not only for me, but most of my peers.
Yeah, I completely agree with Michelle. I think there's a lot of things that the classroom and colleges can do drastically differently. One of the main things that I think that college focuses on, at least in the business school at Chapman, is for students to get internships, which is great because you get real world experience. But I think a lot of those real world experiences can be taught in the classroom to even help people get internships and help people get jobs. One of the things that I find absolutely astounding is, as a finance major here at Chapman, I never knew, or I was never taught what Goldman Sachs was or what Klein & Perkins was, or if I wanted to apply to those jobs, when I would have to apply, and what qualifications I would need, what I would be doing once I actually go there, because a lot of people go to college to learn about what they're going to be doing once they graduate. It's a stepping stone into the real world, and I think it's really hard when schools aren't teaching you exactly what you're going to be doing when you're passionate about something and you want to be doing something and you're never taught what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, what was really cool, one of my favorite visits was Draper University. I would love to go there. He really revolutionizes the whole concept of education. It's you come in and you're sitting on bean bags and it's all real life examples. One of the tests was that the first day you come in and he says, all right, go to San Francisco and go find a job. And that's what it's all about. I mean, we go to college to find a job, to be successful, and to find our passions. And that's so, so important to teach us those skills that are truly valuable. And I mean, I would love to go there if I had the chance.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the great things about this class is we only had 1 week in the classroom here at Chapman, and even in that time, I think we had at least 4 speakers come in. Our professors here are amazing, but they're not experts on every single thing that you want to learn and that you're passionate about. And I think it's really important to bring in speakers to teach you about what you're going to be doing in a job again, or what it's like in a certain type of culture or in a certain firm. So I think that's one really important thing, is bringing in speakers. And then obviously we had the opportunity to go up to Silicon Valley, and we got to learn so many things from so many different people and what they were passionate about.